Welcome to Full-Time Movie Fans. I'm your host, Daniel, aka Jarvis. This is my co-host and friend.
What's up?
Abram, aka The Flaming Arrow. That's an inside joke, don't even worry about it. He knows
We
what
won't,
that's
we,
about.
won't, we won't go there.
Yeah, so we're just starting this out because, we like movies, but I think me and Abe here, we really enjoy Marvel movies and talk about Marvel movies. There's going to be more movies coming down the line with another friend of ours, Clint. So he's a movie cinephile. So we're going to do some stuff like that. But we're a little bit, this is our first video that we're recording. I don't know if this is the first video that's going to go out. But we're going to be talking, we're a little bit behind the curve. We're going to talk about Thor Love and Thunder today.
Such a great movie.
No, we have some same opinions and some different ones. But first of all, I want to say thank you for joining us. I hope you have a good time with us. But we're just gonna get right into it now. One thing that I think it's important to mention is that, like, when it comes to Marvel movies, there's a lot. One of the things is Marvel movies have been around for how long? Like 12 years, since 2008. That's a long time ago.
Well, the MCU.
So 14 years
with Disney.
Yeah,
that was for a while because wasn't that with Hulk? Was when it started, or was it Iron
Man?
Yeah,
so
Iron Man and Hulk. Yeah.
So it's important to realize that we've had 14 years of these movies. And I think one of the issues that Marvel struggles with is that there's a lot of expectation, right? So every movie has to be freaking amazing, especially after Infinity War and...
they set the bar.
Endgame. Yeah. And so the thing is, we have high expectations. And not only that, another issue is for those of us who... know about the comics and are familiar with some of the comic stuff, there's some things that we know that we're just like, ooh, the comic book did it better. So that's like one of the things that people go, oh, I've read the book is way better than the movie. Sometimes you get that with a comic book. So, and I have some issues with that as well. That's something that our friend Clint pointed out to me when we have conversations. But that being said, and this is, we're not trying to come into it like hating on it, but we do have some strong criticisms. I think that's another thing is I've seen a lot of videos around, and I kind of feel like it's just cool to hate on stuff in general. Like, you hate on it, or if you're a movie critic, you have to be like, you have to say something negative about every movie. That's not necessarily the thing that we're trying to go for here, but I'm just letting y'all know we are going to say a lot of negative things about it.
Yeah.
So we're just going to get that out of the way because I do want us to end on a high note and talk about the things that we did love about the movie. So, firstly, let's just right into it. Overall, I think you said that you didn't like the movie, correct? Overall, you would say no, I didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I liked, the experience was fun. I had a fun time, but at the end of the day, and I loved Gore. Gore the God Butcher was, I think, phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think he did an amazing job. I think there could have been parts of him that were better, and that could have done better for the MCU and where I feel it's going. But altogether, I didn't like it. I thought they tried to be too funny. I didn't think it went in line with what they were already doing and where they should be headed, or thought that I thought that it was, you said expectations, false expectations. So I was expecting the MCU to go a certain place, and it seems like they just were and they went completely different direction, which is fine. But I think for me, that was the first movie, like you said, our friend Clint, he was, he always goes into movies never seeing the trailers. And so that's hard for me because I have to see the trailers.
Yeah.
So I know what I'm going into. This time I didn't watch the trailers at all. I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot. And didn't watch any of them. But in my head, after Ragnarok and after Spider-Man that had come out, all these movies were so good, and it seemed like we were just adding and adding and adding. And I was really super excited about it. And but I had all these things of what I thought should happen. And when I came in, none of those things happened. And it seemed just really dull. And it seemed like it just went nowhere. If that movie didn't happen, we'd be in the same position we are now. You know what I mean? I didn't feel like it really added anything. Now, I think that Thor's daughter, that when she came in, I forgot her name, that I forgot. It was Gore's daughter that he brought back to life. But I thought that was a really cool addition to it. And I think her coming into the MCU is going to be awesome. I'm kind of like sprinkling all throughout the movie. But I mean, all in all, like, I didn't like, I saw it the first time, I walked away like, and I saw it a second time and I actually walked out of the theater. Like, not like not like an anger way. I was just like, I'm bored. Like, it was just kind of like, I already know what happened. So I was like, I didn't. Yeah,
I gotta say, so like, when I was watching it, the feelings that I was feeling while sitting in the movie theater, I was having fun. I was entertained. I was laughing. I really enjoyed what was going on. I did have some reservations. It was just till after the movie that I thought about it more. I kind of had, my critiques. But let me ask you this, like, and again, let me just preface this, like, with something like me personally. I am not like, I cannot create a movie. Like, I'm not that type of person. I don't have the mind to do it. I don't have the creativity to do it.
Oh, you mean you do?
So like, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're just not in the seat that are making the decisions.
Right. But like, I will admit that I am more of a person who can, like, someone can create something and I can vet it. Like, I can figure out how to make it better or what issues a certain idea has, things that come up with. So that's what we're kind of going to get into. But I also want to recognize and say, hey, to the movie makers out there, it's like, I get it from their perspective. Like, oh my gosh, everybody's a critic. Everybody, like, you know what I mean? It's hard for them to do their job too. But I just want to say, like, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't critique movies and things like that, which is what we're doing. Now, that being said, I want to ask you, what's like the main thing that you would change if it were your movie to make it better? Like, what would you have changed? Because like, I feel like I have some big ideas that I would change, like that I would have wanted to see, and then I have some very small, like at the bare minimum, I would want this to change, and I think it would have been a better movie for a little bit of change. So like, I guess that's the question. Like, do you have any big changes or even small changes that you would just do to, like, tell me about that? What do you think?
Well, I think what you talked about a second ago too. From my understanding and from what I've read, like, the director talking about TT, which he's an amazing director. Like, he's phenomenal.
For sure.
Ragnarok was, I love that movie. It's one of my top 5 of all MCU. But he went into this, from what I understand, now, of course I didn't talk to him, I'm not friends with him, but like from what I've heard and stuff like that, is that he went into it not watching any of the other movies from the MCU and just wanting to do his own thing. And so like the way and the direction that it was going, he went a complete opposite way. And from what I read and from what I heard, he wanted to kill off some people, and they're like, no, you can't kill those people off. You have to keep these. These are the ones you can keep. These are the ones you can kill. And he just ran with it. And so for me, I was just like, I just didn't like that. I really didn't like that. And he's an amazing director. But anyways, the big thing that I would change, because going into it, I heard that Zeus was going to be in there, which I was really excited about. Yeah. Which means Hercules is going to be in there, which I was super stoked about, because like even in the comics, like they fought a lot, but they ended up becoming good friends, Thor and Hercules. Right. And so I was really excited about that. And so I know about the whole necklace sword and stuff like that, the symbiote sword, to where that's where Gore the God Butcher takes it upon that and like has his powers. And so he kills the two guys. They have a huge fight, and he comes and he kills the god. So I loved how like at the very beginning that was in line with the comics. It seemed like it was really cool. But my thing is like Gore the God Butcher is just ruthless, and like he kills gods, and it seemed like he wasn't a threat. And like I did not like that. I know that's one of your big takes. And so my thing that I would change is that he came in to where he found Zeus, and to show how powerful he was, and Thor knows Zeus, he kills Zeus. Just kills him. Takes him out. And so all this stuff is happening, and then you have like Thor like, oh my gosh, like this is a serious threat. Like we have to do something about this. So at the very beginning, he's all fun and games, like riding like on a broom, Stormbreaker, like on a broom, which is funny. I love that. But then all of a sudden he has to get serious and like, dude, no, like I have to go back. I have to protect Asgard. Like I have to protect Earth from this threat. Like he's killing all these gods, and I know some of these gods are my friends. And so coming into that, him having to fight Gore, that would have been awesome. And then not only that, Lady Thor, which I liked the whole aspect of Lady Thor coming in. I liked how it was her, she was sick, and then the hammer like was protecting her. I liked that. I thought that was really cool. But I would have loved if it was them two and then Hercules. Like, he comes back, his dad's dead. Like, what the... Like, he's pissed. And so he's like, who's this Gore? And then that's when, like, Hercules and Thor meet, and they're both kind of like barley, like, stupid, you know, kind of guys that are, like, super powerful. That would have been a great dynamic. And I know that they stuck with Lady Thor, which I think was cool, and, like, his relationships with the Stormbreaker and Hammer, which I thought was pretty funny. I think they overdid that, especially the goats. The goats was hilarious the first time I heard it, but they just kept... I just didn't like that. Yeah. But I think that if they did it like that, and at the very end it was like Hercules, Thor, and Lady Thor, or even like whatever that looked like, however that they were able to put it in, maybe that's too many heavy hitters, but I thought that would be so cool that even at the end, like, Hercules found out that Zeus died. He's like, who's this, you know, whatever that looked like. I thought that would have been way cooler of a story. Yeah. That Zeus actually died, and like him being like this, which was funny, him coming down being like a little princess kind of thing, like not a care in the world, and then he gets serious, you need to go kill Thor. I think that's going to be cool in the future. But I don't know. I thought it would have been a better story, like, because Gore, they didn't do him justice. Like, he is such a powerful threat. Yeah, so you're saying that you really wanted to see Gore, like, really show how much of a menace he was and how strong he was. Yes. So, and by killing Zeus, that's a pretty big deal. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Now, I had some ideas. I like that too, because one of the critiques is like, now, Christian Bale as Gore, I mean, phenomenal, perfect. Like, I was concerned before the movie. I was like, I hope that Gore feels like a menace. Like, I hope he feels threatening, and like in those moments, like where Gore was like with Thor and Valkyrie and Jane Foster Thor, when they were on his little like planet, he was like menacing. I was like, whoa, like this guy's scary. Like, he was actually properly scary. I was like, okay, all right. Yeah. But I do agree with you. Like, I wish that we would have been able to see maybe not necessarily. I would have liked to see Gore kill some other gods, like some big gods, or like that big. I forget the name of the god, the big beast that they came upon, and they saw him. Dude. And I really would have liked Thor to have said something about, because in the comics, Thor says, "Oh, this dude used to like wrestle with black holes, like for fun. Like, that's how strong this god was." I wish he would have said something to that effect in the movie, so we kind of get an idea, like, whoa, like black holes are insane, like the amount of power they generate and stuff like that, the forces. So just to show that Gore was able to kill this creature with so much like power, I wish they would have said something about that. I wish they would have shown some more feats of his. Killing Zeus would have been a cool way to do that, but definitely showing some more of Gore being like killing gods. Like, I know in the comics he tortured a god of torture, like, bro, that's to death. Like, that's ruthless. Yeah. And I didn't like the whole thing of like his daughter dies, and that's why he's like, screw the gods. And then he captures kids to get a god. He's taking so much time on Thor and Lady Thor, which I think it could have been him going to kill other gods and then trying to lock him down because he's so powerful. They have to stop him where he's at and to make his attention on them, to be like, okay, let's go. That would have been so dope. That's a good point. Hey, full-time movie fans, thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you had a good time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. We want to hang out and discuss the movie with you, so don't forget to do that below. Have a good one. I hope your day is everything you dreamed it to be and more.